Single displacement reaction. The world around us is made up of matter. With the planet constantly undergoing changes, there are changes in look and composition of the matter itself. Scientists have divided these changes in matter into two categories: physical and chemical changes. A physical change is a change in the appearance or physical properties of a substance, and it does not produce a new substance. For example, melting of ice cream is a physical change. A chemical change is a change that creates a new substance. The burning of paper is a good example of a chemical change. The aim of this experiment is to carry out the reaction between an iron nail and copper sulphate solution in water and classify it as a physical or chemical change. Single displacement reaction. We will require copper sulphate, iron nails, distilled water, a beaker, measuring jar, test tubes, 2 clamp stands, a piece of thread and a glass rod. Take sufficient quantity of distilled water in a measuring jar and pour it into a clean beaker. To this, add a required quantity of copper sulphate. Stir the contents in the beaker using a glass rod until the copper sulphate crystals in the beaker dissolves completely. Pour sufficient quantity of copper sulphate into a test tube. Clamp the test tube to a stand. Then pour sufficient quantity of copper sulphate into another test tube. Clamp this test tube to another stand. Take 2 iron nails. Clean these by rubbing them with sandpaper so their color appears grayish. Tie one nail with a thread. Immerse this into one of the test tubes containing copper sulphate solution. Keep the 2 test tubes undisturbed for about 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, the color of the copper sulphate solution containing the iron nail turns light greenish color, whereas the color of the solution in the other test tube does not change. The greenish color of the solution is due to the presence of Fe2+ ions. Remove the iron nail from the solution. Compare it with the other nail. There is a brown coating of copper on the nail that was dipped in the copper sulphate solution. The other nail retains its grayish color. In this reaction, the ferrous ions displace copper ions from the copper sulphate solution. So the reaction is a single displacement reaction.